Welcome to another episode of Behind the Studs, your home improvement and remodeling podcast, where the two most entertaining guys discuss the do's and don'ts in home construction and in the remodeling industry. Remember that you can nail it, paint it, or just tune into the show. How about that? Here are your hosts, Colin Shaw and Jimmy Driscoll.
What's up, everyone? How we doing?
Waka, 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 waka.
Excellent.
This is it.
This is it?
This is it.
What does that mean?
That's what it means. This is
This
it. We're here.
Oh, we're here. Yes, that's right.
Ta-da!
Yes. Ta-da. Beautiful.
Ta-da!
And we got through the groupies today, which was good.
I know, that was
Yeah,
tough.
That was tough.
I told you how to sweep the leg. It works
Yep,
every time.
It does. You were right. Right.
Yep.
You just cleared them down like bowling pins. It was great.
You didn't do bad yourself either.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Yes.
I like the way you leapfrogged over the big one over there. That was good.
All right.
You split your pants. Yeah. Sorry we're late for the show. Colin split his pants.
Right.
Leapfrogging.
Well, at least things happen. Yeah. So
All right, let's get serious. We got to get
right,
serious
absolutely, because we've already been yelled at once.
Yeah, well,
yes,
I'm sure we're going to yell them a lot
yeah.
more tonight.
I'm sure we are. So if everybody remembers from season 1, we are actually bringing back one of our guests, the first one who's actually made 2 appearances on our podcast. So you're in royalty now.
That's right.
So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. We have Stephen Way. He's from the Town of East Lyme / Niantic.
He is one of our only guests that ever said to us, "Yeah, you can. Yeah, well, I'll come back on the show where all the other ones says, don't ever call me again.
Lose my number." Yes. So now, before we get started, Jimmy, we did get, like I said, yelled at.
Oh my
we're
God,
we're not lying.
I freaking hate yellow.
If you guys see this, it's double-sided too.
Look at-
So this is what we did wrong on one
That's right.
episode. Not to
One.
mention the other 60 that we've done.
Yeah. Mostly it's all in the intro.
Right. Yeah, it's right in the beginning.
Awesome.
So we never peak.
Yeah, yeah.
After the music ends, that's our peak,
Yeah.
and then it's all downhill from there.
Yeah, let's listen to the stupid guys.
These guys don't know what they're talking about.
I will. In fairness,
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Here.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
I've listened to all your episodes.
Wow.
That is
And
great.
that's the only one I felt necessary to sit down and write some
All right.
corrections
Well,
for.
we appreciate that.
All the rest of them were very informative, and I enjoyed them.
Well, thank
Wow.
you. That's very nice of you.
Except
Wow.
for...
Well, that one, not so much.
Right. Well, we're not going to say much about it. We're just going to say we'll share it with our guest that was on that episode, and we'll make some corrections.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll do what we can do.
I don't know if we could get a hold of him. I think he probably already changed his number by now.
You didn't contact him directly, did
No,
you, Steve?
No.
No. Okay, good.
we're on a do not call list.
He's not going to service our area anymore.
Oh,
I think he's going to have
nope.
to stop right at Old Lyme.
Yep.
And he can't go any farther.
Bangs a Yui.
So, Mr. Way, how are you, sir?
Very good.
Very good.
Thank God.
Things are busy.
season.
Things are busy in the town of East Lyme and Niantic.
Cranking.
Yeah, we got a Costco now.
We do.
That's a pretty big deal.
Was that fun?
That was 6 months from the time they stuck a shovel in the ground to the day
They're
they
pretty
opened.
fast, huh?
Well, ain't their first rodeo, as they say.
Yeah,
They've
built a couple.
They've got a plan, they follow it. They've done it over and over again.
Yeah.
So that helps.
Yeah.
And they use a core group of people, so.
They just all bounce from like state to state, right? Yeah, they just go with them.
Yeah,
Yep.
the main group is from Idaho, and
Oh, wow.
the gas crew is from Oklahoma. And,
Oh wow.
But some of the guys work and live in Georgia, and they travel to wherever the project is. And
Wow.
then they go home for a couple of weeks, and then go to the next one.
Very cool. Wow,
That is awesome.
that is. I don't think I'd want to do it.
And
but
that's true of the people that stock the stores. And
same
that's-
people again. Yeah.
And anytime a Home Depot or a Lowe's or Walmart or any of those places go up, it's the same process.
Right. Right. Okay.
Core group of contractors and even the stocking crews come from out of state, and they meet at the site and live in local hotels for a month and come in, work 12-hour days and stock the shelves.
Wow.
Which is almost as much of a project as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
building the
would
building.
imagine. I would imagine.
You know,
I will go on record saying I am not impressed with Costco.
Okay.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Too much? Stuff's too big?
Yeah, it is overwhelming when you walk in there.
Abundance?
Yeah, but it's going to be the one pet peeve that I have that I know other people have already mentioned it to me when I talk to them, is there are no signs at the end of the aisles. So you don't know where anything is. And they will move stuff periodically so that you have to walk through the different aisles to try to find what you're looking
That's
for.
what they do that on purpose.
Exactly, they do. And I understand why they do it, but it's annoying.
I need 24 jars of grape jelly. Oh, my God.
Now I got to go through 30 aisles to try to find the grape jelly. I mean, it's
Oh,
like, just,
my God.
give me a clue.
Oh, my
Point
God.
me somewhere.
I just
you know?
want frozen Brussels sprouts, and I've spent $350 on toilet paper. Jesus.
Yes. So I'm not a huge fan, but hey, I'll stick with the BJ's. So,
All right.
but the gas is cheaper. I got to give them that. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right.
So Mr. Way, what do you do
Mr.
when
Way.
you're not doing building inspecting? What is your part-time job?
Well, I got a couple of them, but one of them, my primary one, is doing design and consulting work
Nice.
for a number of different places and projects outside of the town of East Lyme.
Of course.
Nothing in town.
I've tried to get you to do stuff in town.
No,
You won't do it. So.
won't do it.
No.
I have several people I work with. Last couple of weeks we were working up in Hartford area
Oh, wow.
with doing evaluations for projects, old condominium projects that the porches are starting to fall off,
Yep.
and what needs to be done to fix them.
Okay.
And so we get in there and evaluate those kinds of things, make recommendations,
Nice.
identify things that are critically dangerous, and long-term plans and
Okay.
so forth.
Very cool.
We do some design for single-family homes and additions and things like that. I'm getting out of that more since I've been
Really?
slammed up with town business.
Right.
This town started as a part-time job a few years ago,
I remember.
and not so much part-time
No.
anymore.
So they got you actual full-time now, or
Well,
you're close?
No, I'm full-time.
Good.
I do it in 4 days a week, but
That's all right.
4 long days, and
Yeah.
the other days I spend working on my other projects.
Nice. So you go statewide with the design work?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah. And we got other builders that call and say, okay, this building official is giving me a hard time.
Uh-huh. Been
Can
there.
he do that? Why does he do that? What
You're
should
right.
I do? And so I will assist them in gaining compliance.
Okay. Now,
They're a nice guy.
Politically correct.
That is you're a nice guy. No, really, honestly, because that for a builder that is comforting to know. Because the guy wants to get it once, get it right, and
Right.
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 waste money and go back.
There's no question. We all want to do it right.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to be shown, and sometimes people will call, I've never done it, and he's making me do this, that. And I'll say, well, he's right. And,
Okay.
Right.
And as Colin knows, I'll spend enough time explaining it to him.
Oh,
till he
absolutely.
understands it or understands the reasoning behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
And generally, if you can figure out the reason behind a rule, it's much easier to comply with it.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, it was huge. I mean, when you first started, I was able to get a appointment with you and sit down with you and just try to figure out exactly what it is you're looking for. And because we had this conversation when you were on the first time. There is one building code.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there are different ways that building inspectors go about things. So,
There are.
for us,
Absolutely.
we know based on the town what we have to do to meet what it is they're looking for.
And it's unfortunate that it's that way.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think that I'm probably fair. But,
Yes.
But,
Yep.
But I do hold the line.
Which is what you're supposed to do. I mean, that's
which
your
is-
job.
that's
I mean,
the job,
You
right?
people when they start complaining about the building inspector, I'm like, it's the building code. It's not the building inspector. If he's making stuff up, all right,
that's a
then
different subject.
that's
If
right.
you don't know what you're doing, ask the question, because there's no such thing as a dumb question. Even though, and I think that's one of the things that men will, or whoever, contractors will struggle with that. Just it's being safe. You know what I mean?
It's, let's face it, there's guys that have been in the business for 35 years and nobody ever told them otherwise. And
Right.
Right.
They don't like being told by young
Yeah, they got their ego in it now.
Well, they still think things are done in a different way because they're not as up to speed on the
And
codes.
things have changed a
Yeah,
lot in the last 10
absolutely.
years or so.
A ton.
And, I had an apprentice with me for about 6 months earlier this year. I don't know
Oh,
if
cool.
you met her.
No, I never did meet
It
her,
was
actually.
her.
Yeah. Yep.
And she had some struggles with, guys not wanting to
Crazy.
listen to the
Right.
to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
female building official.
Right.
But
2020 or 2019
she
at the time.
was,
but,
more than qualified, and she was, fresh out of school. She was an apprentice.
Yeah.
But she had my full backing, and
And I bet she knew the codes way better than they did.
Had to make that point a couple times.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
They're the best. Like I said before, one of our other shows. Actually, I was just watching this and I mentioned her name before is Cindy Stumpo. She's out of Boston, and she's an architect. She's a builder, high-end builder, and she's done it all herself. She's got a show. She had a show called Tough as Nails, but she knows what's going on, And the same thing. She was, she intimidated a lot of guys, but but she knows her stuff.
Right.
I'd want to hang with someone who knows their stuff.
Right.
And my intern was an architectural person that decided they wanted to be an inspector, so they put themselves through the school, graduated, and they impressed me, and I gave them a shot. And she was a little on the timid side at first. And,
Sure.
a couple of guys tried to take advantage of that.
Great.
We had to have a chat.
Yeah. Good.
You're probably like her, take over like her father, right? Protecting her and stuff.
They literally referred to her as girly, and
Oh, my God.
let me talk to a guy. And,
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Jesus.
No, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. That still goes on around here, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Fair enough.
And in fairness, I knew it would, and asked her how she
right.
was going to be able to deal with that.
Yep.
She gave me a good answer. So
Good. Good.
we took a shot
Fantastic.
at her, and she didn't shy away from it.
Yep.
So.
So she's still pursuing the career then?
Oh, absolutely.
Good for her.
Unfortunately, we offered her a full-time job, but she felt West Hartford was better. So if she's listening,
All
come
right.
back.
Well, yeah, come on back. Yeah.
Speaking of you,
Uh-oh.
what do you like the most in your job? Like, what's the best part you like in your job? What do you like?
The most satisfaction I
yes,
get
that's
is something that took me a long time to come to realize. Because I grew up, my grandfather was a builder, my father's a builder, and so forth. And for a number of years, I worked at Foxwoods, and you go in the morning, you go out at night. And, wasn't much to be proud of, other than I made a living, and kids went through college and got benefits.
Well, what'd you do at Foxwoods?
I was manager in the poker room.
Okay,
Nice.
So.
all right.
I worked in the hotel side. Actually, I was assistant beverage manager at one point at Foxwoods, and then
Right,
so-
which is the title should be official cat herding. To
Yeah.
keep,
yeah,
the-
yeah. That was not a fun time in my life. So yeah, and I'm guessing same for you. So
right, and at a certain point, I just said, what am I really doing? I'm not really accomplishing anything. At the end of the day, I got nothing to show for it.
Right.
all right.
So, and I had been licensed for many years anyway. So an opportunity in Norwich came up, and I took it. I'm glad to say, in a number of cases, I can point to a house and say, those people would have died had I not happened to be along at the right time.
Man.
Right.
No, I
Yeah.
really get that. I get that.
There's a sincere satisfaction in that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Safe.
Keeping people safe and,
Yep.
and making contractors make corrections that could have been detrimental.
Yeah.
So
No, I
that's-
agree with that. I mean, I'm all for that.
I mean, I've designed a number of buildings, built a number of buildings, and it's nice. You can drive by and point to them, and
Yeah.
and there's some artistic satisfaction in that.
Sure.
But in truth, it's knowing that somebody's alive that maybe wouldn't have been otherwise.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
That's
Right.
nice. That's great.
Right.
So
What do you like the best, Colin, out of what you do? Oh man, he's gonna kill me after this show.
Saturdays or Sundays.
Freaking key my car on the way out.
I love Mondays
Oh, her.
and rainbows and unicorns.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I know. And bamboo shoots under the fingernails are your favorite.
Yeah. Well, we'll get back to that
All
later.
right. Okay.
Jimmy, what do you like to do? What do you like doing?
But I love to. I love hanging out and getting pieces of paper with yellow all over them. Figure out how I can improve my knowledge and understanding of what the hell I'm doing.
I think you need an internship.
You know what? I wouldn't mind that myself
Right?
either.
No,
I
probably
really
wouldn't be that bad.
No, I'd like to be
Learn
a
a
wealth
lot.
of
I
information.
only highlighted the stuff that was wrong.
You probably should have
my
highlighted what was
God.
right. That would have been a lot less.
No. There's a good man between us right here,
Absolutely,
right now. Yep.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate it.
So getting back to
Yes.
doing the draft work. So have you ever run across another building inspector that gives you a hard time with your drawings, or?
Yeah, once.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Sure.
It, for the most part, first and foremost, when I'm doing a design, if I get it wrong, I should be a little ashamed of myself.
Well, we all make mistakes.
you're an
It's all
engineer.
right. Yeah.
Considering what I do,
Right,
in my
right.
day job.
Right.
So I take pride in not getting plans
Sure.
returned for revisions and
Right,
things like that.
right.
And there's occasionally I'm looking at something one way and, they're not necessarily seeing that.
Yep.
So they'll ask a question.
Okay. Yep.
And that's fine.
Yep.
And, we resolve them. I mean, occasionally they say, "Well, can you put a note on the plans?" And sure,
Yeah.
make a quick revision.
Yep,
Everything's on computer these days, so
Right.
it's
Right.
easy enough to make those revisions.
Yep.
But generally, my designs are code compliant
Right.
out of the gate.
Well, I know I used to talk to a couple of guys that, and I won't say the town or who it was, but they always, an architect was telling me this too. He's like, I always leave one thing off the final drawing, just so that they can say that's missing, and he just reprints it because it's already in the system. He reprints it, and it goes right on through. And I'm like, yeah, some building inspectors, they got to find something, so you got to give it to them, right out in the open.
I honestly would
Not
rather
you.
just assign it the first time.
Right,
When-
exactly, right, yeah.
If it's all there, I'd be glad to approve it. And-
Sure,
and
it
Yeah.
saves you time. Now you don't have to review it again.
I don't have to be writing emails. And
Right,
sending
right.
letters
Waste your
out.
time. Yeah.
So do you have do you have homeowners come to you and go, I need something?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And, I'm to the point now. I'm trying to avoid additions and things. I'll do new houses.
Yeah.
Retro work is just doing as-built takes darn near. Pardon my French.
Ah, you're good.
It's all right.
Darn near as
You're
long
lucky
as,
Marissa's not here. She just blow you right out of the
Right,
water.
exactly.
Yeah. She'll mouth like a truck driver.
Right.
Go ahead.
I try to. I'm trying to avoid getting involved because they just take too long, and I don't have the time to devote to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I told you last year it's going to be 6 months before I could do a job.
Right, I know. I would come to
I'm
you,
just
and you're
trying
like,
to tell
yeah.
you the truth. I just
Don't even wait. Yeah. Yeah.
There's just, especially on renovations, it just takes too long to get them done.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
New house, okay, I got to have the layout of the land, and then after that, I don't need to see the site anymore. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Renovations, it's wait a minute, this window's not fitting, that door's not fitting,
Right,
what's
right,
not
right, yeah.
floor
Yeah.
level. You got to work all those things out on paper.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I can understand what you're saying. I
Yeah,
get that.
for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
So basically, if a homeowner comes to says, I want my house here, I want to face it this way, I want to see the ocean, I want to see the trees, I don't want to see my neighbor, and this is, I want a deck, I don't want a deck, I want a hole so I can bury my neighbor in there if he starts looking over at me. So
Yep.
basically, you take all those in
We
consideration.
would sit down and go through all those things,
Yeah.
and often I'm going to probe a little bit. What's your lifestyle? I mean, you got kids. You look into the future. What
Yeah.
age
Sure.
group are you
Yeah.
in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Aging
make
in place or not,
recommendations.
yeah.
What they may or may not want to think about. Had you thought about this? Had
Right.
you thought about that?
Right.
And we've had guys come in that they have these 5,000 square foot houses. They're upsizing. This is their dream home. And I just know they have absolutely no idea what that's going to cost.
Right.
I know it.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for them because I had one case, very nice couple, and they're coming out of their 1,200 square foot house into this 5,000 square foot house with a 3-car garage and blah, blah, blah. And it's all nice if you got a heck of a raise or a great windfall
Right,
somehow.
Or work for the state.
And I says, after not for nothing, based on the square footage, you're in the $700,000 category here.
Right.
Is that kind of your budget? He said, oh no, I can get this done for $300,000-400,000. I
Yep.
said, well, maybe if you did it all yourself. I said, well, I got friends. I said, well,
We all know how that goes. No family, no friends.
That ain't gonna happen for you.
Yeah. The road is paved with good intentions.
They just never show up.
No, they don't.
So you can't count on that. And, so he wound up cutting the house back to $3,000.
There you
which
go.
I thought was okay. That's admirable. Now
Yep.
you're in the $400,000 range.
Right.
And then he proceeded to make revisions every week for the next 12 weeks until it was back to 5,000 square feet.
Oh, jeez.
Now you're getting paid for all this.
I got
Let's go.
paid
Yep.
by the hour.
Yeah.
And,
Oh my God.
Is that how you always do it, by the hour?
Absolutely.
Yep.
I was just
Absolutely.
gonna
Yep.
say. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it was back to the full price, and he insisted he could do it for cheaper.
Well, that's not your problem at that point, right?
At-
You
at
just
that
draw it.
point-
and-
God bless you.
Yeah.
At that point, it wasn't my problem until,
Right.
about 3/4 of the way through the project. He had this, I need letters and statements so I can get a new mortgage.
Oh,
And,
jeez.
Oh my God.
he ran out of money at sheetrock
Yeah.
time.
Wow.
That's great. He's got a house built with no windows and no friends.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's cooking off a little Coleman gas camper stove.
And at that size, it was a big house.
That's a big house.
With big spans.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
The roof I had originally designed is all pre-engineered trusses.
Wow.
He insisted it had to be stick built after he got
Really?
the building permit,
Huh.
and so he didn't order the trusses.
Yep.
And then the framer looks at it and says, "What do you want me to do?" Yeah, you got 40-foot spans here in some places. How you going to pull this off?
Right, right.
So,
And he's thinking, no big deal.
yeah, no big deal. Just
Yeah.
throw some rafters.
Right. Why not?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's nightmare. That is a freaking nightmare.
That is a
So it was,
nightmare.
I felt bad for him. Nice family, but
Mm-hmm.
made some poor choices. But that's part of what I tried to steer them away from. But you can't always.
No.
That's probably the textbook.
We've all gone down that
Yeah,
road
we all go through that.
with customers.
Absolutely.
Don't do it. Don't do it. This is what's going to happen.
They
No.
do it.
Don't stick your head in the hole. There's a bear in there. No. I love honey. Bears love honey. They love me.
Yeah. Doesn't always go so well. No.
So I told you. I told you. Men with no ears left.
Like Piglet had that warning.
Yeah, right.
Piglet did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I have the hardest time. You can tell a customer, and you have told the customer, and you've told the customer,
Absolutely.
don't buy that stuff. Don't
Nope.
do that.
Don't do it.
You're going to be sorry.
Yep.
And I can't help you.
Yep.
I can't help you. We're going to be back to square. And there it is.
Yep.
Yep.
There it is.
And you're not looking for that "I told you so" moment, but
And
it's like, what do you want me to do now?
Have you got to the point where sometimes a customer's like so adamant, I want the blah, blah, blah. Do me a favor. Take this and go get a second opinion. I feel I have no problem with that. See what he has to say.
I have. In some cases, they've gone and got third and fourth opinions.
Wow.
Until they found one they liked.
Yeah.
And that's what they went with.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
And that, which is fine,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
You'd rather them go somewhere else than
Yeah.
have to
Actually,
make
yeah,
modification that you
you're
know
right.
is not going to work.
Yeah, you're right. Because
Yep.
you don't want to be button heads with that whole project all
Right.
along.
'Cause
Right.
if you can't get through the paperwork part of it, you're going to have a heck of a time getting through the kitchen part of it.
The writing
right?
is on the
You
wall.
know?
The writing is on
I
the
have
wall.
walked away from jobs where the contract, I just couldn't get it signed, and there was so much issue. I finally just said, you know what, I'm probably not the guy for you. So let's just agree that this is not going to work
It's not
out
gonna
well.
work. Yep.
So, I'd rather walk away from it than travel down that road that you know where it's going.
I have
Absolutely.
a speech. I have a very small speech, and whether it's a renovation or what kind of work we're doing or whatever we're doing, and the husband and wife are involved. And I've said this before. I said before this even begins, and before we start tearing this part away, I want you to enjoy this journey and try not to kill one another, because it will get to the point where you will be at each other's throat, just to the stress of us being here.
Yep.
We're going to get in here and get the hell out of here as fast as we can.
Yeah.
We don't want to be part of the slaughter. You know what I mean? So enjoy the journey. And it's I think sometimes it's just they don't listen, they don't hear it, and it's you see it all coming down.
Well, there's been more than a few divorces over
Right.
renovation
Sure,
projects.
sure.
Right.
And, when I was building my own house, my wife came up one night, brought me dinner, and that was the last time she came back until we moved in.
Good idea.
And we were framing at the time.
Yeah.
Good idea.
It was just, no, we can't keep doing this.
No. And like Jimmy
You're
and I,
going to have to trust me on what I picked for colors and carpets, because you ain't coming back.
Right.
until it's done.
My God,
for
you're
you.
still married? You're still married. All right, we won't even go there.
Nope.
Okay.
well, like Jimmy and I have said, it's a very emotional business that we're in. When you're dealing with people's
absolutely.
homes and their money and everything else, it's a very emotional time, going through a large renovation. If it's a small little thing, it's easy, it's over and done with. But when you're talking about, hundreds of thousands of dollars and, people's houses, and it's a lot.
It's their biggest single investment.
Absolutely.
And most people take pride in it, which
Right.
is why they're working on it.
Yep.
They're cautious of it, and absolutely very emotional.
Yeah.
Can be very emotional.
Okay, so let's just share something. Let's put something on the table right now and tell me if you feel this sometimes, especially you, dealing with a customer, dealing with the client, dealing with the townsperson, a taxpayer, whatever. Do you, if you can answer this, do you feel sometimes that the people are more aggressive now than they were a few years ago?
Some people.
Right. Well, that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be. I don't have to be definitive on that, but aggressive can mean a bunch of things. But you know what I mean? Aggressiveness. They're more aggressive, more demanding, pushier.
They are in some cases. They absolutely are. I look at it from two different ways. One where I do design work and code consulting, where I'm just there to give you information, basically, in one form or another.
Yeah.
And the other one was where I have to enforce the rules. Some people don't like rules enforced when they're involved.
Right.
And some people, for lack of a better term, feel entitled to special treatment. And you can kind of see what happens just in Washington, D.C. Bring that down to a small scale, and it happens in East Lyme, too.
Yeah. Right.
And we all know cases of, somebody got away with something maybe they shouldn't have because they knew somebody or made a phone call or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't like being put in that position, and I avoid it.
Yeah.
The rules are the rules. They're black and white.
Right.
Let's stick with them.
Yeah.
And we don't have to have too many conversations like that.
Right.
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 I try not to get too worked up about anything, and in fact, I don't get too excited.
Well, you're the boss.
And,
Right.
You are the boss.
Well, I'm not the boss. I'm the guy that's there to make sure everybody goes home at the end of the night.
I got
Right.
you.
And I have a couple of you got your pre-canned speech. I got a couple of pre-canned speeches. If I walk into your house to look at a furnace, and I got to walk by an illegal bedroom, I can't unsee that.
Yep.
It's there. I see it. I got to enforce the code.
Right.
Because my job is if done correctly, means the firemen never have to show up, and the EMTs don't have to drag your butt out of there.
God bless you, man.
So that's my job.
I get
Yep.
that. No, I totally get that.
And people get offended. Well, it's been there for years. I bought it this
But-
way, or
They like to
Okay.
use
my
that.
grandfather put it in.
I was gonna say they like to use the
nights and weekends.
Isn't it grandfathered in?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, no, it's unsafe. And there's no grandfathering for illegal renovations, remodels, additions.
Right.
It's got to be made safe.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
That's hard to explain sometimes.
It is.
And we forever get, I've been paying taxes on it for years. Well, God bless our tax assessor. She gets that stuff pretty quick.
Yeah.
And, but that doesn't mean that you put it in legally.
Right.
It
Exactly.
just means that you're paying taxes.
Right.
Right. So, difference between draftsman and architect.
Good question. Very good question.
Square footage.
Square footage.
That's pretty much the quick answer. An architect obviously went to school for 4 years, and in some cases 5.
Yep.
Has advanced training in all aspects of construction. Designers, draftsmen are generally focused on one aspect. And in my case, I'm a little broader because I do have a pretty good background on the
Right.
entire code.
Yep.
But if you came to me and wanted me to design a plumbing system, I'm not going to get involved because it's not necessary for small projects.
Right.
And I don't have time or effort or resources to do large projects. There are
Yep.
people that specialize in that. And in this day and age, you would go to somebody that specializes in plumbing and specializes
Right.
in mechanical and
Yep.
or specializes in electrical. Where an architect's job is to kind of oversee all of those things. So you generally don't get architects on small projects or renovation projects.
Right.
Designers, draftsmen, for the most part, are perfectly capable up to 5,000 square feet.
5,000,
That's their statutory limit.
Yeah. Did it used to be 3?
Single-family home can be up to 24,000 square feet, actually.
Really?
But I don't know too many people building 24,000 square foot single-family homes.
Yikes.
So, but when you get into commercial and things like that, 5,000 square foot's the limit.
Okay.
So after that, you get an architect. And certain building types, educational facilities, motels, hotels, have to have an architect by statute.
Okay.
Because you have too many other life safety issues that all
Yeah.
have to play nice with each other.
Sure.
And that's really what an architect does, is coordinates that playing nice.
Okay.
They coordinate the plumbing and the mechanical and the structural, and that's kind of their specialty.
And speaking of the structural, yeah, there's an engineer who usually has to get involved at some point to verify.
Especially on commercial projects,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But homes as well.
It depends on what it is. You can build a house, single-family house, you can build it entirely out of the IRC, the International Residential Code.
Okay.
There's charts and tables for everything in there. When you stray outside of those tables and charts, then you got to get an engineer.
Okay.
Or a design professional, whether it's an architect or an engineer.
Man.
And they'll guide you in that aspect of it. And it comes up, if you want to take out a center bearing wall, and you let's put some LVLs in there.
Yeah.
Well, for the most part, you can go down to your local supply yard, and they have software that has been pre-approved to run those calculations, and you can come up with a beam size.
Right.
So the code recognizes that as essentially being part of the code.
Okay.
But when that software runs out of capacity and says, well, no, 4 18-inch LVLs won't take care of it,
Yep.
and there's no place to add a fifth,
Right.
then you got to go get an engineer.
Wow.
And-
Okay.
And they'll come up with a solution.
Nice.
So that's pretty much how that works.
Cool.
All right, that's cool.
So, what we ask all the time, horror stories.
Oh, he's got a million of them.
Oh, I gave you one already.
Yeah.
Which one?
The big house.
The big house. That's it?
Oh, no, I could
I
go
was going to
on.
say, come on, there's got to be something else.
We could go on.
We could all sit here and trade horror stories for the rest of the night. Yeah.
Well, I have to say you're a good man, Charlie Brown. I appreciate what kind of work you do.
Absolutely.
And I really appreciate the notes. I really, honestly, I do. And just what you're doing for your town and what you do for mankind, believe it or not.
Some people wouldn't believe it.
Well, they don't get it. They don't get it until if they're ever in a jam or
Right.
a pinch or something out.
Yeah.
Right.
Something happened. If they just Mickey Mouse something put together and there was a fire and they lost a child, lost a loved one,
that's it.
or the building collapsed.
And who is the first person they probably go look for anyways?
I'm the first guy they
Absolutely.
come look for.
Right.
Did you approve this?
Hell no, I
Did you approve
didn't.
this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why would I?
Yeah. And if you say
it's-
yes, then it's, yeah.
And, and that's one of my pitches. I said, I don't want to be the guy that has to sit in front of 12 of my peers and look to a guy in a black robe and try to explain why I let something slide.
Right.
So,
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
And had something, dramatically bad happen.
Sure.
Let everybody sleep well at night.
Yep.
Literally,
As you know, and I'm sure you know, the building codes is a stack of books, 20 feet high. If
Yeah.
you put them all together. No single person knows all of them, including all the people that wrote them.
Right.
It's just too much.
Yeah.
And they've written them to the point, and the people on the codes and standards committees in Hartford and Washington and throughout the country would never admit it, but they've over-designed the codes to the point where they know you're not going to do it all. Nobody's ever built a house that fully complies with the building code. It's impossible.
Sure.
Too much minutia.
Yep.
But if you get 75 or 80% of it, you're
Yep.
going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of what they're hoping for. So I take that approach when I'm inspecting things. I say, okay, what's more critical and what's less critical?
Yep.
I care deeply about structure, as you
I know.
probably know.
I know. Yes.
and I worry about electrical. I worry about
Sure.
gas. I worry about
Yep.
those things. But if your plumbing leaks, you'll figure it out.
Right.
Nobody's going to die because there's a valve dripping someplace.
Right, right.
So
Yep.
that's kind of my approach.
Yep.
And I spend more time on the structural than some, And a lot of that when you get from town to town to town, and that's the part you hear where this town does this, that town does that. It's our backgrounds.
Yeah.
My background is structure, and
Yep.
I think my logic and let's focus on the stuff that might hurt somebody makes sense.
Sure.
Whereas other building officials, maybe they grew up in the trades as a plumber, they focus on plumbing.
Right.
You
go with where your strength is. That's
absolutely.
sure. I get that.
So they may, not give them I don't want to say a hard time, but they may not be as stringent on structure because they don't understand it necessarily as in depth as some others of us do.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it all makes sense to me, and as always, we thank you very much for coming on the show again.
And
maybe episode or season 3 you'll be back.
I'll be around.
All right. You're just a phone call and about 6 weeks away.
Well, I can walk over here.
Yeah,
so,
that is true. But when did I ask you to be on the show? Like 3 months ago or something like that?
Well, right as Costco was closing.
Oh, that's
So
true. That's true.
We were trying to get through Costco.
Yeah.
And I needed to clear my head and have a little holiday time.
Yeah,
and, So here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Maybe we can start a new game show when he comes on, and it'll be called Wrong Again, Driscoll.
Well, I'll listen. Like I said, I was kind of impressed because that was early in season 2.
Yeah, it was.
And,
it was.
And I listened through all the other episodes, and I didn't find anything else I felt necessary to write down.
That's all right, man.
That's pretty good, man.
thank
If you think
you.
about it. If you think about it, all the stuff that's come out of our mouth, and that's it.
Yeah.
I think I distinctly remember the show that we were high-fiving. Yeah, we
That
nailed
was a
that
good
one.
one.
That was in
a good
the
one.
can. Yeah, we got some. Ring, ring, ring. Wrong again, Driscoll.
Well, it wasn't so much that you guys were wrong. You brought an expert on.
Yes,
that,
we
you know,
did.
maybe, needs to
Tweak it a little bit.
There you go.
There you go. Tweak this.
We could all get a little, constructive criticism. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And let's face it, a lot of times he's coming in to work on things you guys installed.
Right.
This is how you install them.
Right.
Right?
I got
So,
you.
and sometimes he's installing. But,
Yeah.
But this is how you install these particular items.
Good.
And actually, this is actually really important to both Jimmy and I.
Yeah.
So, that's big safety
I'm
thing.
going to
right
be
there.
doing it at my house next month, as a matter of fact.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and my final closing statement
Yes.
is
Yes, please.
call and ask questions.
Beautiful.
I'd
Awesome.
far rather have you ask a question,
Yep.
give you an answer, let's get you going down the right path.
Yep.
I don't like having to come out and say, no, that's no good, take it apart.
Right.
I don't
Who
want to do
does?
that.
Right.
I'd rather have you do it right the first time.
Sure. Everybody's
Ask
happy.
questions, and sometimes I'm a bit of a stickler on plans.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it right on paper. 'Cause
Yep.
If we can't get it right on paper, we sure aren't going to get it right in the field. So,
That's
that's
true.
my philosophy.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Call and ask.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, sir. We do appreciate you coming back on the show. Hope to have you on many more times.
Absolutely.
All right, Mr. Driscoll.
This is awesome.
We'll do it again next week.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
All right. We'll see you.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.